Hey y'all, welcome to another Bravo book review. I'm here at a secret undisclosed location. It's absolutely glorious out here. Truly God's handiwork is magnificent. So anyway, today we're going to be looking at a new edition of an older book. By older I mean mid-17th century, I guess. Stewardship, a Christian duty by Jonathan Edwards. Now I'm not going to get into Jonathan Edwards' history, but he is one of the all-time greatest preachers that has ever exposited. If you are of a certain age, you've seen his most famous work, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God, in your local English, or in your English textbook. You most definitely would not find it in a American English textbook today, at least not in the public school system. So anyway, this edition is edited by Joel Morris. According to his biography on the back, Joel Morris is the Executive Director of Union, overseeing the strategic direction and development of the organization. He is also a leader and trustee of Grace Community Church, Porthcawl, Wales. One thing I would have liked with this biography, an explanation of union. I did not know until I was looking it up that there is a Union Theological Seminary, which is what he's referring to here in Wales. I knew of Union University in Tennessee and Union Seminary, I think, in Massachusetts. But I did not know about Union School of Theology in Wales. So this book was published, or this edition was published in actually last year, 2022. Published by H&E Publishing out of Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. H&E is short for Hesed and Emet, two Hebrew words roughly translated to love and truth. They've published a bunch of other works by Puritan writers, as well as some of more modern Reformed works. Alright, so this is a fairly short book, a total of 79 pages. And here's what appealed to me about this book. I consider myself to be a stewardship evangelist and apologist. And I went on to Amazon.com to look for more works about stewardship. And there really isn't a whole lot of works specifically dealing with stewardship. Sure, there's plenty of works dealing with the intersection of faith and finance, but very few of them that I've come across actually posted in a way that leads it towards stewardship, if that makes any sense. So when I saw this, it intrigued me greatly. Of course, I had to have it. I think I got it for somewhere around $12 or so. I'll leave a link in the description. So anyway, let's dig into the book itself. First, it's a very soft touch feel cover to it. And pardon my voice, I'm not a very strong speaker. I don't have a very strong voice. But like I said, it has a very soft touch feel to it. Very, very nice to touch, actually. Obviously a paperback. The front cover, actually the book itself was designed by another leader at Union School of Theology, Dustin Binge. So you have my apologies for mispronouncing your name. The painting, this cover painting, is Thanatopsis by Asher Brown Durand. And when I say that it was edited by Joel Morris, what he's done is he's taken the mid 18th century language of Reverend Edwards and updated it to the 21st century. I don't know if you remember the original Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. While it was a great and magnificent work, let's admit to ourselves that it was a bit tough to chew, at least in the English department. Reverend Edwards' work was a lot closer to Shakespeare's time than our own. So this updated language is much greatly appreciated, and for those without an English English secondary education, shall we say. So on the back we have a blurb from D. Martin Lloyd-Jones, another great expositor. No man is more relevant to the present condition of Christianity than Jonathan Edwards. He was a mighty theologian and a great evangelist at the same time. I am tempted, perhaps foolishly, to compare the Puritans to the Alps, Luther and Calvin to the Himalayas, and Jonathan Edwards to Mount Everest. All right, so the contents, we have a biography, a preface written by Dr. Morris, as well as the 4 chapters as originally written by Reverend Edwards. The duty, the obligation, the exhortation, and the objections. So I'm not going to read, obviously I'm not going to read this whole book. Allow me to go ahead and give you my assessment of it. It is a very necessary assessment. It is a very necessary book. As I stated earlier, there's not many works specifically pertaining to the issue of stewardship in the Christian life. With this book, Reverend Edwards answers the question, am I my brother's keeper, with a resounding yes. But he puts it even in stronger terms than that. It's basically like he's saying, how dare you even ask such a question? Of course. So, allow me to read. I will read. I said I wasn't going to read the book to you, but I will read a very key passage. Let me get to it. And this is from chapter 3, the exhortation. We are stewards. Consider that what you have is not your own, i.e., you only have a subordinate right. Your goods are only lent to you by God to be improved by you in such ways as He directs. You yourselves are not your own. 1 Corinthians 6:20 says, you are not your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. And if you yourselves are not your own, so then neither are your possessions your own. Many of you have by covenant given up yourselves and all you have to God. You have disowned and renounced any right in yourselves or in anything that you have, and have given to God all the absolute right. And if you are true Christians, you have done it from the heart. Your money and your goods are not your own. They are only committed to you as stewards, to be used for Him who committed them to you. 1 Peter 4:9-10 says, "Show hospitality to one another without grumbling. As each received the gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace." A steward has no business to use his master's goods any otherwise than for the benefit of his master and his family, or according to his master's direction. He has no business to use them as if he were the proprietor of them. He has nothing to do with them, only that he is to use them for his master. He is to give every one of his master's family their portion in due season. So right there we have the very heart of stewardship. Everything that we have was given to us by God. Nothing that we have ever built was ever actually created by us, but only through inspiration of God. So, like I said, I highly recommend this book. I'll post a link to it in the description below. Thank you all, and go with God.